This is an Eye on Annapolis bonus podcast.
Well, we are back here at Maryland Hall, and if you hear some sort of like churchy organy music in the background, that is cube music, which is coming from the gallery right next door, which is Craig Colaruso's exhibit that's going to be here. But we're here with Jackie Coleman, who is, I'm not going to say the new executive director. You're like, and I'm not going to say the old one because then that'll get me in trouble. So we'll say you're the new-ish executive director.
Perfect.
You've been here about 18 months now, right?
Yes.
How's it going? You loving it still?
I love it. It's busy. It's crazy, but it's great. The team has really blossomed. When I got here, there were 9 staff and now we have 25.
Well, when you got here, we were just like shaking off the COVID.
Yeah, coming out of COVID. So it's been exciting to see, I was joking back in January that I felt when people would say, how's the staff culture? And I said, well, I don't know. I still have whiplash trying to figure out what the staff culture is because, there was just so much like shifting and changing and evolving. But I feel like we're at the point now where we're really starting to groove and dig and, it's pretty exciting.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to talk to you today about a big event that's coming up on September 8th called Arts Alive. And after we're done with you, we're going to roll down the hallway and talk to Maria, who is doing a lot of the most of the organizing.
Yes, yes. She is all things Arts Alive is Maria. Yes.
Arts Alive is an annual fundraiser, and the branding this year is Arts Alive 25, which I refuse to acknowledge because I refuse to believe it's been 25 years since I was here for the first one when they were trying to raise, I think, $10,000 to replace the windows on just the front side of Maryland Hall. And it's really grown. I can't believe it has been 25 years. And that was kind of your first big thing when you came into the position, right? I mean, I know I think your first day was like the film festival.
Yes, it was. Yes. The opening of the film festival actually was my day too. Yes. And then, this was like the first big fundraiser. I mean, obviously you're just getting your feet wet and stuff like that. But how does Arts Alive benefit Maryland Hall? I mean, this is one of the biggest fundraisers that you guys have. Yes, it is. It's our flagship. It is, literally the revenue, is instrumental in helping us to move forward and grow and do all the things we need to do, because even though we have diversified funding streams, that is one piece is doing fundraising. And the coolest thing is that Arts Alive, I believe, from my experience of it, also it's an exciting community opportunity. It's a bringing together of people who love the arts, and it's just a super fun party. I had a great time, and I got a lot of great feedback. People had a great time. It was relaxed enough, but yet special enough. For it to be an event. As
a new person a year ago, was there anything that you wanted to change? What did you learn from last year?
Oh my goodness. It was a big learning night for me. Actually learned at that event that I knew that we had some needs on the staff for support with our technical, areas, our audio, visual, like in the theater. But that night, it was so clear to me after that event that Maryland Hall needed a production manager. And as far as I can see and look back and understand, I don't think a production manager was on staff, at least in the history that I've been able to dig out. Like there were technicians, and there were more technicians in the theater, but to have that one person who is the manager of all of it, overseeing the technicians that are in there, but also, all the equipment and keeping an eye on that and keeping an eye on inspections and things. And Dennis's role is so big, that it's like, because he's got the whole building. He's our facilities manager. It just was really clear to me that night of the event that, oh my gosh, so many things could have gone better if we'd had somebody in that role.
You talked about a production manager, and out of Arts Alive last year came some change. And since you've come into here, there's been a lot of change. First of all, the change is that the parking lot is full when I'm coming to see you in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. So I just park in the no parking zone. Okay. So that's, but no, I mean, it's so exciting to see. And I've been here, probably a dozen times over the last year for non-performance reasons. And the parking lots, I mean, I'm always looking for a spot. I mean, I know during a performance I can go down to the school and park there and everything else, but it's so exciting to see the vibrancy, here in Maryland Hall. And, I would say, that's, you've expanded the things. You've really redefined what art is. I think now this is my opinion, is that it's not just, paintings, sculptures, and opera anymore. Certainly that's included, and not to diss on the opera or anything like that. But, you've got poetry, we've got film, we've got this modern cube art cube music next door to us. And you really expanded there's talks. And I know the film festival comes in here roughly monthly.
Yes.
With a screening. There's new outdoor art installations beyond the, I don't know, were you here when the tree was done?
Patrick Doherty. I was not here when it was done, but it was done before I got there. But
there's so much more that's coming in. I mean, you've really expanded the offerings here. And I know that we've sort of dropped for creative arts out of the branding. It's Maryland Hall, period. The Hall is home is the moniker that you guys have come up with, and you really hit a home run on that, because it really is. There is a place for everybody here in Maryland Hall.
Well, I'm so happy to hear you say that. That's our goal. When I first got here and I sat down with the staff and I said, well, art for all. That's what our mission is all about. So let's talk about that. What does that mean? What is art? And what is all? And, we kind of unpacked that and had a lot of conversations about that. And that had us thinking about, okay, well, we know what the resident companies, they have their sort of repertoire, and that's great. And we want to reach all audiences. So we need to think about programming that's different than what the resident companies are bringing, that what Rams, we want to think of something different than Ram's Head,
I just had an aha moment here.
You did.
You guys are the mall of the art world.
Or the mall of
You're the mall of the art world, okay?
I like
Annapolis
that.
Opera, the Symphony, the ballet, all the resident companies, they're the Macy's, Nordstrom's, JCPenney, and Sears. Okay, but everybody will come to them because they're great.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
But they're not going to go to the rest of the mall if those guys aren't there. So you need them to draw the traffic. But in order to keep people coming back time and time and time again, you need the little magnet store that sells nothing but magnets, or,
or the restaurant.
God, that horrible store for little girls. What's it? That has all the earrings and all that garbage.
Oh, Claire's?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's called Daddy Hell.
Okay.
But you're taking all the little tiny stores in the mall, if you will. And there is now a reason to go to Claire's. There's a reason to go to Spencer's. There's a reason to go to the 7-Eleven, which I think is still odd to be in the mall, but that's another story. But you're giving a reason to be here. I mean, we've got the Media Hub, which is now upstairs, which is wonderful. You're opening this up to other organizations. Leadership Anne Arundel now has a home here. The cafe, it's still run by South River?
I'm not sure which high school. I think we've had ones from different high schools that come in there. But yes. Yes, it's the school district.
But this is not the Maryland Hall that this was 25 years ago when we were trying to get windows in the front.
Yeah, it is different. And one of the things that I said when I got here is obviously we were closed because of COVID, but I said, let's activate our spaces. Let's really, breathe life into this building, in this center. So it was I think it was the combination of really talking about art for all, and what is art and who is all? And then with a drive of activating spaces. And that's what we've been doing, is thinking about spaces as uniquely as we can. And
well, you did. You took Compass Rose Theater as a perfect example as well. Very small, very, I don't know whether niche is the right word, but a theater company. They never drew 600 people to see any of their productions. They could not reasonably operate in the main auditorium here at Maryland Hall. I don't think they could fill 600 seats. And because it is a professional community. Professional community, that's two different, but it's a professional theater, but it's very, very small. Mm-hmm. And now they have a home up here. Mm-hmm. That actually, I believe Governor Moore and his lovely wife attended one of the showings of The Wizard of Oz. So
yes, they did. Yeah, it was lovely to see them here.
It's nice to see that the governor recognizes the beauty of Maryland Hall as well.
Yes.
So I know he was here for the film festival, and so they definitely are very familiar with that. But I mean, crab radio is a thing now, which was, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and it wasn't, but now it's back, which is kind of neat. And, the Media Hub, I'm kind of excited about because I get kind of excited on the geeky out things. But, if you're a business looking to do a podcast, you can go and you can rent studio time. It's a professional studio. They got the sound box there. If you've got a screaming little baby, you could probably rent it out and put the baby in the sound box and nobody will hear it for a couple.
We've joked about that. Yeah. We've even said, when staff gets frustrated and they just need a place to vent,
to scream.
We can give them a discount because they're staff here to go into the sound room and, scream it out. So,
but again, you've expanded the definition of art with things like that. We, as old folks like myself, you don't think of graphic artist as art, but it's huge art anymore. So it's all exciting stuff for Maryland Hall. What is the big picture? I mean, what are you looking to? Okay, so we're going to make a lot of money with Arts Alive. And for those that aren't aware, it's a fundraiser. You come in, it's got all you can eat, all you can drink responsibly, I might add. They'll have appeals, they'll have auctions, they'll have raffles and everything else. And those, they're going to be asking you for money because it's so well used here in the community. It goes right back into the community and helps us all live a better place. But what is the big picture? I mean, I know Maryland Hall has undergone several capital campaigns recently. And, with the expansion of, the redo of the main theater and then the expansion out onto there's a direction, but I'm going to say the left stage, or maybe it's the right stage, depending on I don't know how that theater.
Depends which way if you're talking about from the performer's perspective or the audience's perspective. Yeah, there's two of those. Well, John, thanks for that question. I would say for Arts Alive specifically, because that is our annual fundraiser and we build it into our budget, it is part of what we rely on to make everything happen, our operating expenses, our annual operating expenses. So that's what Arts Alive is helping us to do. We, simultaneous to that, are in some quiet conversations about a capital campaign because we are holding, thanks to Mike Bush, we are holding almost $1.3 million in bond bills. So, and they will expire if we don't use them. So we're starting to have conversations about our HVAC system. We have these 57 room air conditioners that are super loud. I turned one off at the start of our conversation. And then, you walk in the hallways and they're warm and the stairways are sweltering and the bathrooms. And then you go into these rooms that are freezing cold. And, and the same thing with the heat on in the winter. It's such an old system. It was the original, heating system. So the HVAC renovation, there's the opportunity to modernize, to actually have proper ventilation, to use more green approaches, get all the window boxes out of the windows, replace the boilers. It would also include some work in the Bowen in terms of looking at the acoustical options to be able to have an event in the Bowen, an event on the main stage at the same time. Right now, because of the sound lead, you really can't. It's really hard. So we're looking at that, and then also thinking about the theatrical lighting thing, piece of it, and how we can do that. So that is, something we're in conversations about, and we're going to be starting to fundraise for probably in the mid-late fall of this year, or continue, I should say, fundraising for. But the Arts Alive, I could tell you some of the great things we're doing this year. It's scary for venues as you come out of COVID because we have no idea, we don't have any records about who's going to show up, and so we're doing 8 Maryland Hall Presents shows here. We just had one this last weekend, and there's 7 more for the rest of the season through June of next year. And, we don't know how we don't know how ticket sales are going to go. We're crossing our fingers and, we tried to build a dynamic, diverse set of offerings. But that's one example of the many things. And the Media Arts Hub, like you say, that's being built out. So the annual operating is really supporting sort of the nuts and bolts of allowing us to do all of this.
Sure. So the moral of the story is come to Arts Alive and make sure that you guys blow your budget in a good way. Contribute lots and lots of money so that way they have much more money and they don't know what to do with it all.
Yes, that would be great. Please.
Let's just pretend for a second if all of a sudden Maryland Hall bought a Powerball ticket and it hit for $1 billion. And let's cut that down to a more realistic thing because, I don't think you could figure out what to do with $1 billion.
No.
But you won some kind of a big, huge lottery. What's the pie in the sky dream for Jackie Coleman and Maryland Hall?
Oh my goodness. There's a couple of pie in the sky dreams. I mean, I think we're very, very excited about the Media Arts Hub. We have big dreams, if it really takes off. Like, we have equipment to do the graphic design, classes, workshops, photo editing, like the sound engineering, learning about that. Also the renting out of the studio itself. Where we would like to go is being able to purchase cameras, both like photography cameras and film cameras, so we could start to offer some programs in that area. That would be really exciting. I would also love to see if the community, the Media Arts Hub, did generate enough interest and we had the resources. Do we expand into another space in the building? Do we turn it into, we've done some research and found out, around the world, these art centers sometimes have like a hub feeling. That's why we love the word hub, where it's like a place to hang out, a place to generate together, to ideate and create together, and to be able to have that kind of physical space would be great. For our outreach, I would love to figure out the transportation challenge. I mean, I keep hearing, they want to get there, but I just can't do it, and I think there's, of course, all of the physical things that we dream about in the building, right. Act 3, Scene 1, which is what we're calling our upcoming, campaign. Right. And then Act 3, Scene 2, potentially, that would be fantastic. If we could really look at and sit down now post COVID and say, all right, we have this money, we have these drawings from before. What do we really want to do?
That'd be fantastic.
It would be so great.
The way to get this started is at Arts Alive 25, again, September 8th, which is a Friday evening. It goes from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., so it's not terribly, terribly late, because you don't want to tick off the neighbors down the road.
That's right. We're honoring the sound ordinance.
They're a little bit on edge. As everybody is in Ward 1. I can say that, you can, okay? we'll let it go at that. That's an easy way to support Maryland Hall, okay? You can come out, you can have fun, buy a raffle ticket, because they've got like 5 or 6 dream bucket list vacations that are there. And I think there's only 200 tickets being sold or something.
There's only 200 tickets, so your chances are much higher than regular raffles.
You've got that. You've got plenty of great auction items that are up for there. And if you can't make it for some reason, you can bid online in advance. And, if your bid holds throughout the evening, hey, you probably got some great stuff from some great local supporters of the arts community. And I would recommend that if you don't consider yourself an artsy kind of a guy or a girl, come on out and check out Maryland Hall, because I think you're going to find out that you might be a little bit more artsier than you probably would have thought. I don't think I would ever stumble in here 20 years ago. And now, as I say, I'm here frequently. I mean, there's shows here between, what you guys put on, what Ramset puts on, what, the Film Fest and everything else. Ways to support Maryland Hall. I mean, you can subscribe to, to be a member. Attend the shows. Again, there's, you've got 8 wonderful shows throughout the whole season here, and there are a variety of things. I mean, they got kids. They got the Magic School Bus.
Yes,
and Miss Frizzle.
I think so. I haven't read it. I can't believe I have to read it before they get here. But I hear it's fantastic.
I think it's Miss. I don't know whether it's Miss or Ms. or Mrs. But Mrs. Frizzle is the teacher there. But there's plenty of different ways to express art, and you guys are really showing it up here. Donate. You can just outright come to marylandhall.org and search out that donate page. And if you've got some talents, figure out ways to work with Maryland Hall, because I think it's real easy to do. Again, for tickets to Maryland Hall's Arts Alive 25, you want to go to marylandhall.org/artsalive. And just for Maryland Hall, and I do recommend everybody go to it if you haven't in a while, and just really explore everything that the Hall is offering, because, again, going back to your little tagline, the Hall is home, and there is something for the little 3-year-old ballerina up to the 95-year-old woman that's making a clay pot downstairs.
It's true.
And everything in between. If you are a gamer, there's something for you here. If you are a music aficionado of whatever genre, there's something for you here. What do you want people to know about Arts Alive 25?
Oh, it's going to be a fun, super fun night. There's going to be so many wonderful local restaurants are donating food. So it's going to be a palate pleaser, not to steal the palate pleaser title, but I think it's going to be very tasty, fun, energizing. We're going to have live visual artists there actually creating paintings that you can watch emerge during the course of the evening. There's going to be other roaming artists, and then there'll be a really fun band, and we'll be able to kick shoes off and get on the dance floor. And if you're the person who prefers to be a spectator, there's plenty of space for you too to have a seat and enjoy a painkiller from Pussers and, enjoy the dancing.
I did a little bit of both last year. I did a little bit of dancing.
Good.
And I did a little bit of sitting down laughing at the people dancing. So it worked out really well.
Yeah.
But it is a really, really very fun night. And I do suggest everybody go get tickets. Again, marylandhall.org/artsalive. Now that we're done here with you, I'm going to roll down the hall and talk to Maria and see if we can get the details of what's going on so we know exactly what's going on September 8th.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to chat today, John. It's great to see you.
Today, we're sitting down with Maria Abreu, who is, I'm not sure what your title is, but you're like the head honcho putting on Arts Alive 25.
I am. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the hall.
Thank you. The hall is home. That's your new logo.
Yes, it is.
That's what I hear. Arts Alive 25. Now, for those that are unfamiliar, Arts Alive is an annual fundraiser. I'll just call it a party.
It is a party.
That has been going on with a name like Arts Alive 25 years. Mm-hmm. It will be happening on September 8th, which is a Friday evening right here at Maryland Hall. And I was here at the very first one when Linnell Bowen was here and Ellen Moyer and everybody else, and they were raising money to replace some windows that were broken. Ever since, I don't know that I've been to all of them, but it is a great event, and you are charged with putting it on this year. So it's all on your shoulders now, right?
No pressure, right? I'm the lucky one in Maryland Hall. I'm officially Director of Advancement, so I'm responsible for all fundraising. And Arts Alive, it's our biggest annual fundraising event. We celebrate it every September, and you're right, we're celebrating a milestone this year. Is the 25th anniversary of the event.
What is the event benefiting? It's obviously benefiting Maryland Hall in the general terms, but Maryland Hall has really undergone a transformation over the last 7 or 8 years.
Correct.
We've got the big addition in the back, which is just, I know every resident company absolutely loves it. You've got the, what used to be a gymnasium downstairs is now just a wonderful black box theater. New seats in the whole main auditorium looks good. You've got a whole fresh look in the hall. Just everything about Maryland Hall has changed. Like I said, 25 years ago, we were looking at windows. What are we looking at now?
We are looking to supporting everything that Maryland Hall does, including programming. And that means from our education programs, art classes, from pottery to wood turning, all the way to the outreach program, which includes art classes and mentoring for youth at risk in our community.
Out at the community,
yes,
right?
Yes, correct.
Well, I know you guys have expanded quite a lot. I was just the other day, I got a chance to see the new lab. I call it a lab up there, but the audio lab and the podcasting and the media hub.
Yes.
It's great. The equipment that's
up
in
and
there.
Running. It started, we launched it in June. So that is part of programming. Everything that will be happening and we are dreaming of happening in that hub, the Media Arts Hub, workshops and classes and the booth that we have there, the sound recording booth. All of that, it's part of what we're fundraising for, to be able to support those programs and take it to the community.
Well, what I love about Maryland Hall is that you guys have really adapted to the times. We sit there and we look and, 6 months ago, nobody knew what the hell AI was. And now that's all everybody is talking about, artificial intelligence and everything else. But as we've moved on, we've got digital audio, digital visual production and everything else. And you've really kept with the times and moved on. And it's really because of Arts Alive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 25, which is going to be happening again on September 8th. Let's talk a little bit about the event, since I see all these postcards and brochures and everything else on your desk. What should we expect at Arts Alive?
Well, first, let me tell you that this year's theme is A Night to Imagine. So every year there's a theme, and we decorate and plan everything and start daydreaming around it. And this year is A Night to Imagine, and that means that we are collectively imagining the next 25 years for Maryland Hall. So we have gone a long way, but we still want to be here the next 25, 50 years, and we're collectively imagining that. So during Arts Alive, it's a party. It starts at 6 p.m. on a Friday night. You can expect local food vendors, delicious drinks and cocktails. We have live music and a band, and also strolling performers and a saxophone player and a magician. A lot of fun live artists doing demonstrations during the event. There's a lot happening that day during the 6 to 10 p.m. Time frame here at Maryland Hall.
So where will it actually be held here at Maryland Hall? Is it going to be inside or is it going to be outside?
No, we put a huge tent in the parking lot, Lot B.
Okay.
And that's
as you look at the hall, that's the one to the right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we had it there last year and it worked perfectly fine. We were able to host around 450 people. We're expecting around 500 this year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a huge tent and a huge party under the tent.
Well, I know last year was a blast, and actually the weather really cooperated.
Yes.
It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. It was actually.
I'm
perfect.
already praying.
That's right. Bowing to the weather gods as we speak. But I do know that you've got the band. It's the Nightlife Band, and they're a great cover oldies kind of a band that will
high energy dancing.
Definitely get you on your feet there as well. Let's face it, you don't have to worry about arts not being here in 25 years because art is timeless.
Correct.
And it just evolves. It keeps evolving. So you mentioned that there's going to be some visual artists as well. So you're going to have some musical artists. And typically I think Maryland Hall gets associated with the ballet, the opera, the chorale, and the 4 resident companies.
Correct.
And it's so much more.
It is so much more. And we're actually starting a new season of Maryland Hall Presents, which is our own productions, not part of the resident companies that we support and they perform on stage here from years, for decades now. We're doing our own Maryland Hall Presents shows, and there's an amazing, exciting season coming up. And yeah.
I do recommend, if you haven't been to Maryland Hall I would say in like the last 3 weeks, because it's changing that fast. But if you haven't been in Maryland Hall in a while, come and check it out because it is really different. I mean, Ram's Head is producing shows here as well. You've got Maryland Hall Presents, which is producing shows. You've got the 4 resident companies that are here.
The galleries, we have 3 galleries with amazing exhibitions right now, and they change every couple of months. So yeah.
Yeah. And the other secret with galleries is the Mitchell, actually it's not the Mitchell Gallery, it's the Mitchell Museum of Art down at St. John's, which is also a wonderful gallery as well. But back to, we've got plenty of food. Okay, the ticket price is all inclusive.
Yes.
Okay, so you can drink until
we take you out of the event at 10 p.m.
Until you get flat.
Until the lights are off at 10 p.m. Yes.
Right. But it includes the evening.
Yes, it includes everything. You are supporting Maryland Hall and coming to have a great party with food and drinks included and a lot of entertainment. And you can expect to network with elected officials and business people that are attending, the community leaders and art lovers from all over.
Okay, I did see on your website, and I'm going to quote this. It said, community leaders, business tycoons, and passionate arts patrons alike. I want to know who the business tycoons are. Name them. Come on.
I'm going to blame Diana on this because she put that on the website. I'm not allowed to say names right now. No.
So is Bezos or Musk?
No.
Zuckerberg?
John, we have a lot of local business people that support Maryland Hall with their businesses, and we're very grateful and thankful for them. So that's what we're referring for.
There you go. That's fine. I just wanted to make a little bit of fun of it.
Yes,
the tycoon was a funny word there.
Oh, we have local ones.
But you do have raffles and a silent auction, which pretty much every fundraiser is going to have. I mean, that's not a surprise to anything. And I noticed, like on the raffle, it's a series of trips that you can.
Well, we want to think about it as imagine that you are winning a bucket list trip. I messed that up. Going with the theme of the event, A Night to Imagine, is like we wanted to give the guests a couple of options to choose from. And
you've got what? Glen Burnie. You've got Lothian.
Oh no.
Columbia.
Oh no.
Ellicott City.
I mean, those are great. Those are great towns, and I love them all. But we're talking about going to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, going to a Canadian culinary celebration, Iceland, Scottsdale, Nashville. We have a couple of 5 options where you can choose. There are only 200 tickets to be sold. and the winner does not have to be present at Arts Alive. So you can buy your raffle ticket anywhere in the country and just support Maryland Hall and win a fantastic trip.
And you know what? You got much better odds than winning the Powerball or the other lottery.
No, there's
that
only
they have
200 tickets. There's only 200 tickets. You have a lot of possibility to win it.
And you can buy your tickets, and I'm presuming the raffle tickets as well on your website. And that you can go to marylandhall.org/events, and then
it's easier than that. It's marylandhall.org/artsalive.
Can't beat that.
It can't beat that.
But you can buy your tickets to the event.
Yes.
You can buy your tickets for the raffle.
Correct.
I know that there is a silent, and is there going to be a live auction as well?
There's a silent auction that goes live 1 week before the event.
That was going to answer my question.
We announce it, and all the packages are up and running 1 week before the event, and you can start bidding. And then it closes the day of Arts Alive at 9 p.m. during the event. So if you are here, or even if you're not, during Arts Alive, you can bid up until 9 p.m. We close, the winning bidders are announced, and you get your packages.
Okay, so again, if you're unable to attend this, which everybody should be able to attend it anyhow, but if you're unable to attend it, you can go online and you can actually bid on a piece of jewelry or a bottle.
We have amazing sponsors and donors. We're very grateful for our silent auction donors, from hotel stays to massage, spa packages, and restaurants, gift cards, and a golf package. We have a lot of fun things
sports
coming.
Tickets and everything else. That's last year's one was great. I mean, because I kind of liked it because it was real heavy, appropriately, on art.
Yes, we're actually not doing that this year.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have 2 or 3 art pieces. Like, we're really gonna focus on experiences this year so that our guests can enjoy some things of our local sponsors and donors. But yes, we are, of course, including some art.
I know last year the food was really awesome, and you got a ton of local people that are coming in there. Do you know who's coming in this year?
Up to this day, I don't know when this is airing.
I can come in and make eggs.
I'll take you for that. We have, up to today, 14 local restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
Confirmed, including some donors of not like beverages, like wine and beer and cocktails that are also part of our restaurant sponsors and donors. But
so you get a little taste of Annapolis just by coming here. You do,
and there will be an oyster bar this year again. So yes.
that was as you pro tip, as you walked in, if you're going to set it up the same way as you walk in the main entrance, it's immediately off to your right.
It should be, yes. You cannot miss it. The photo booth will be there. And the oyster bar should be right there, yes.
Okay, obviously the easiest way to help support Maryland Hall right now and Arts Alive 25 is to buy a ticket.
Yes.
marylandhall.org/artsalive.
Correct.
And do you need volunteers? Do you handle that all yourself? Do you have room for more sponsors?
We do. We're still accepting sponsorships, both corporate sponsorships and restaurant sponsors, to come and donate food and finger food and appetizers for our guests. And we are also currently accepting donations for silent auction items. So if you're interested and you're willing to donate some items, or you are a business and want to do a corporate sponsorship, we're still accepting those. You can contact us directly in the same website, marylandhall.org/artsalive. All the contact information for me directly is there. My email, my phone number, and the generic Arts Alive email that I get too. So yeah.
Awesome.
I'll get back to you if you contact
The only
us.
thing we don't have is your home address. Okay, and that's probably a good thing.
Let's keep it that way, yes.
I am looking so forward to this evening. Again, September 8th, 2023, from 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets are available right now, marylandhall.org/artsalive. And if you can't come, take a look at that raffle. You might have a wonderful experience at Punta Cana or any of the other places that are on the raffle. And 1 week before, you said, right, as far as the silent auction?
Yes, the silent auction opens 1 week before the event.
So that'd be September 1st?
Correct. The Friday before, yes.
And again, how does that work? If I see something, I say, okay, I want to bid $25 on this pen. That is sort of like the opening bid the night of, unless it was out
there is an initial bid that we suggest, and then bidders start bidding, and you select the packages that you want to bid, and you start adding how much you want to bid on them. Like if we suggest, if there's a package that the value is $100, but we are starting the bid at 50, you start at 50, and then someone will outbid you at 55, and then 60 until the silent auction closes.
But somebody that may have bid in advance, like say on September 2nd.
Yes.
And let's say nobody else bids between the event. Okay, so then the event starts at that bid.
Yes.
And then, but I can still watch through the event from home.
Oh, yes. And if no one does bid on that one, it's yours.
I get it at that.
It's
but
yours.
If somebody does bid, I've got the opportunity at home.
Yes, you will
to
get
sit
a
there and say,
notification.
oh, well, I don't want him to get my pen.
Correct.
Or whatever.
You will get a notification because when you sign up for the silent auction, you register and you will get notifications of what's happening with the packages that you're bidding on.
Question: does that happen at the event too? When you bid? So I know you do register with your phone and stuff like that.
Yes.
So if you're outbid on the silent auction, you will get notification through the event as well?
Yes, correct. Everything is online.
Oh, very cool.
Even if you're here, during the event, Arts Alive, the bidding happens with your phone, like online.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I would suggest everybody come with a big wallet.
Yes, please.
A bigger heart. And
we need art for all, so we appreciate all donations.
And bring your passion for the arts. I mean, the arts really, and we've talked to April Nyman several times at the Arts Council. The arts really have a way of connecting people, and it has a great way of breaking down every barrier that there is.
Yeah.
We can break down gender, we can break down race, we can break down socioeconomic, we can, nationalities, everything else. Everybody can appreciate art in their own separate way. And it doesn't have to be a painting. It can be a sculpture, it can be music, it can be graphic design, which 30 years ago nobody ever would have imagined.
And then knowing also the impact that it has in the community, it transforms lives, and we see it every day. We see it from the little kid that has the need to express himself and does it through a nice picture, and we also see it through an artist in residence like the one we recently had that in prison he was in prison for years, and in prison he was able to find himself or not lose himself through art. So it really transformed lives, and we are big believers on that.
It is. I will be the first to say that I don't understand art myself, but I don't think there's a need to understand it.
No.
I sit there and I see people like in museums going, "Oh, I like the way the artist did this shadowing and this shadowing, and this indicates this," and I'm like, okay, and it's like beer. I've heard of beer masters go, "Oh, you can taste the hints of chocolate." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't."
You just enjoy the cold,
I just like
good
the
cold
beer.
Yeah,
I like the beer. Well, if you want to enjoy a good cold beer, Arts Alive 25 will be a place to go. You can enjoy quite a few of them. Pick up your tickets at marylandhall.org/artsalive, and I definitely will be there on the 8th. I know Maria will be there on the 8th, as well as the whole crew from Maryland Hall. And again, Maria Abreu, thank you so much for your time today. And I guess I ought to get out of here and let you get back to your planning of this event.
Yes, thank you. And you are welcome anytime.
This has been a bonus podcast from Ion Annapolis. Please visit us at ionannapolis.net. Follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Ion Annapolis. And if you haven't subscribed to the Daily News Brief podcast, go for it. And all of your local news will be delivered to your phone, tablet, or smart device by 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday.